The Ring doorbell alert popped up on my phone, and there were my parents on my rental porch with suitcases and a smile like they already owned the place. I stared at the screen, stayed quiet, and felt something inside me crack because I still did not understand what they thought they were walking into. My name is Mildred Adams. I am 38. I build custom furniture for a living, the kind that leaves your hands sore and your clothes smelling like sawdust no matter how many showers you take. My husband, Sterling, is an architect. He is calm in a way that used to annoy me, like he carries a level in his chest and everything he says has to sit perfectly straight. We own 2 houses. The one we live in is warm and ordinary, mismatched mugs and paint samples taped to the wall. The second is my investment property. Quiet street, mature trees, a young couple renting it who actually wave when they see you and pick up their packages on time. They are good tenants. They deserve peace. My parents, however, have never understood the concept of peace when it does not benefit them. 3 months earlier, my mother called like she was sharing good news. She was breathless, delighted, almost giddy. "We sold the house," she said. The house they had lived in for 3 decades. The one I assumed they would keep until they were old and tired and ready to be near doctors and grocery stores and grandkids. I congratulated her. I meant it. Then she added, bright as a child showing off a new toy, that they had given every dollar to my younger brother as a wedding gift. Every dollar. My mouth went dry. My heart did that slow drop, like an elevator cable snapping. "What about you and Dad?" I asked. "What about retirement?" She laughed like I had asked something silly. "We have it handled. We are moving into your rental." No question, no pause, not even the courtesy of pretending it was a conversation. I told her no, calmly, clearly. I told her the house was occupied and that I would not break a lease or throw people out because my parents decided to make a grand gesture with money they did not have to spare. My father's voice came on, sharp as a slammed drawer. "We raised you. Family takes care of family." I remember looking at the workbench in my shop after that call. A half-built walnut table sat there, clamps biting into the wood, waiting for glue to cure. My hands were dirty. My arms ached. I had built my life with the kind of patience people only admire when it makes them comfortable. And suddenly, my parents were treating my patience like a resource they could drain. Sterling came into the shop and found me standing still, staring at nothing. "They want the rental," I said. His jaw tightened. "Your tenants live there." "I know." He did not shout. He never shouts. He just said very quietly that people who ignore boundaries do not stop on their own. They have to hit something solid. I believed him. I still did not understand how quickly it would get ugly. A few days later, while I was sanding a cabinet door, my phone rang. It was my tenant, Thayer. His voice sounded wrong, tight, controlled, like he was trying not to panic because someone else might hear. "Mildred," he said, "there are 2 people on the porch. They are saying they own the house." My stomach went cold. "They have luggage," he whispered. "The woman is yelling. She keeps saying we are trespassing." I already knew who it was. I hated that I knew. "Do not open the door," I told him. "Do not talk through it. Lock everything. I am coming." I drove too fast. I do not remember the turns. I remember my hands gripping the steering wheel so hard the skin around my knuckles went white. I remember thinking, this is not a misunderstanding. This is a decision they are deciding to take. When I pulled up, my parents' car was parked crooked at the curb like they had claimed the street itself. Suitcases sat on the porch. Shopping bags. My mother pounding the door with the flat of her hand as if wood and paint could be bullied into obedience. The moment she saw me, her face rearranged into relief, like I had shown up to rescue her from a disaster she had not caused. "Thank God," she called. "These people will not leave." People, not names. Not a couple with a lease, just an obstacle in her way. "Mom," I said, forcing my voice to stay level, "what are you doing?" "Moving in," she answered as if she were announcing a dinner plan. "And I told you no." My father stepped forward, arms crossed, wearing that old look that used to mean I was grounded. "We have been in a hotel waiting for you to come to your senses." There it was, the trap, the manufactured emergency. The idea that discomfort is a weapon, and if they suffer loudly enough, I will surrender. That was your choice, I said. My mother's eyes narrowed. So you are really going to make your parents homeless? My chest tightened, but my voice stayed calm. You are not homeless. You are trespassing. Behind the door, I heard movement. A latch. The smallest crack of light appeared as Thayer peeked out, his face pale and strained. Do you want me to call the police? He asked softly, looking at me like I could stop this from getting worse. My father snapped his head toward him. You would not dare. This is family. He absolutely would, I said, and so would I. My mother's voice shifted into something trembling and theatrical. I raised you. I sacrificed everything. How can you choose strangers over blood? I felt the button she was pushing, the one that used to work when I was a little girl. Shame, duty, the fear of being labeled ungrateful. I thought about the way my brother had always been described as almost successful, always on the verge, always needing one more chance. I thought about the way my own plans had been dismissed as risky, while his fantasies were called brave. I looked at my mother's hands, still clenched like she could hammer her will into the door. Grandma would be ashamed, she whispered, voice cracking perfectly for the neighborhood. I almost flinched, almost. Then I said, quietly, Grandma taught me not to bully people, and she taught me not to steal. My father's eyes darkened. After everything we did for you. You did the minimum, I replied. You fed me and housed me because you had to. I built the rest myself. The street went strangely silent. Even the birds sounded farther away. My mother stared at me like she did not recognize me. Then she looked at the door again, like the house might change its mind. Thayer's voice shook. Mildred, I can call right now. I nodded once. If they do not leave, call. My father grabbed a suitcase with jerky movements, like he was furious the suitcase obeyed him and the door did not. This is not over, he muttered. They loaded everything back into the car. My mother cried loudly on purpose, turning her face toward the street as if the neighbors were a jury and she needed them to see her suffering. When they finally drove off, Thayer and his wife opened the door and stood there, shaken and exhausted. She had tear tracks on her cheeks. I apologized until the words felt thin. That night, I sat at my kitchen table and opened my email draft. I started typing facts. Dates written out, screenshots attached, lease copy, a clean timeline, something no one could twist without exposing themselves. And right when I was about to hit send, Sterling walked in and placed a plain white envelope on the table. It had been slipped under our front door. No stamp, no return address. Only my name, written in my mother's handwriting. Inside was a single sheet of paper. A change of address confirmation, already submitted, listing my rental property as my parents' new residence. Quick real-life pause. Some nights I edit and I want to quit, but then I see your comments and I keep going. Like, subscribe, and tell me your city, state, or country. All right, now let me take you back. I held the paper over the kitchen light until it turned almost translucent, like that would reveal the trick. It was real. The kind of official-looking confirmation people print when they want something to feel final. My parents had already filed it, already told a government website that my tenant's home was now their home. Sterling read it once, then again, slower. His expression stayed calm, but I knew him well enough to see the line forming between his brows. They are trying to establish residency, he said. My throat tightened. They do not live there. Yet I thought, the word tasted like rust. I pictured my mother pounding on that door, my father standing behind her like a judge, and I realized they were not just being stubborn. They were following a plan. A bad plan, but still a plan. I sat down and opened my laptop again. The email draft glowed on the screen, polite and factual. It suddenly felt too gentle, like bringing a paper umbrella to a storm. I did not rewrite it. I made it sharper. I listed everything in simple sentences. My parents sold their home and gave the proceeds to my brother, Beckett, as a wedding gift. They then demanded my rental property. I refused. They attempted to force entry and intimidate my tenants. They have now submitted a change of address using my rental property without permission. Then I attached proof, screenshots, the lease, a photo of the suitcases on the porch that Thayer had taken through the peephole, and the change of address paper laid flat on my counter with today's mail beside it so no one could claim it was old. At the bottom, I wrote one paragraph that felt like swallowing glass. Since so many of you have strong opinions about what I owe my parents, I am sure one of you will be willing to house them immediately. Please reply with the address and the move-in date, and I will forward it to them. I read it twice. My hand shook once, then steadied. Sterling put his hand over mine. "This is the beam," he said quietly, "the part that holds." I hit send. The next morning, the silence was immediate. My phone did not buzz with cousins. No dramatic voicemails. No long lectures about blood. It was so quiet it made my skin crawl, like the pause right before thunder. Then around lunchtime, the replies came in. Not angry at first. Careful, polished. My aunt wrote that she supported family, but her husband had a bad back, and their guest room was full of storage. A cousin said she would love to help, but her landlord did not allow long-term guests. Another said they were praying for all of us, which is what people say when they want credit for caring without doing anything. One message, though, stood out. It was from my mother's sister, my aunt who never liked me because I was too independent to control. She wrote, "You are humiliating your parents. If you do not fix this, I will come get them myself and drive them to your house." My heart thumped once. Hard, not fear exactly, more like disgust. I replied with one sentence. "What time should I tell the police to expect you?" She did not answer. By the end of the day, the family group chat was dead. Posts disappeared. People stopped sharing links and prayers and little passive-aggressive memes about gratitude. It was like watching a stage crew yank down scenery when the audience starts booing. That should have been the end of it. But the next twist arrived that evening when Thayer called again. His voice was tight, controlled, but calmer than last time. "Hey," he said, "something weird happened. A man came by with a clipboard. He said he was verifying occupants for mail forwarding." My spine went cold. "Did he show identification?" I asked. He said it was standard. He asked if the Adams family lived there. I told him no. I told him we are renters and you are the owner. He left fast. I closed my eyes. My parents were not just lying. They were trying to build paperwork around the lie. Hopping paper would bully reality into giving up. Sterling listened from across the room, then spoke like he was outlining a blueprint. "We need to document everything, tonight." So I did what calm people do when someone tries to steal their life. I got organized. I created a folder. I saved every text, every voicemail, every email. I wrote down what happened at the rental in exact detail while it was fresh. I asked Thayer and his wife to write their statements too in their own words. I did not embellish. I did not add emotion. I let the facts do what facts do. 2 days later, my parents showed up at my workshop. Not the rental, not my home, my business, the place that mattered most to me. I saw them through the front windows. My mother carried a casserole dish covered in foil, like she was auditioning for a forgiveness commercial. My father held a bag of groceries, smiling too wide. My stomach flipped. My palms went slick. Sterling was not there. He was at a site visit. I was alone with 2 employees in the back room, and I did not want them dragged into my family's mess. My mother walked in first, and her smile landed on my face like a wet cloth. "There she is," she sang, "our girl." I stayed behind the counter. My voice came out steady, even though something in me wanted to bolt. "You are not allowed here," I said. My father's smile vanished. Aloud, he repeated, like the word offended him, "This is a public business." "It is my business," I replied, "and you are trespassing if I tell you to leave." My mother's eyes filled instantly on command. "We just want to talk. We miss you. We brought food." I did not move. I did not take the bait. I glanced at the foil dish, then back at her face. "What address did you put on the change of address form, Mom?" Her mouth opened, then closed. My father stepped in fast, too fast. "We were confused," he said. "It was a mistake." "A mistake does not involve verification visits," I said. My mother's voice sharpened under the tears. "You are acting like we are criminals." I held her gaze, then stopped doing criminal things. There was a beat of silence where I could almost hear the gears in their heads. My father tried a new angle, softer, more dangerous. "Beckett is under so much stress," he said. "The wedding is coming. He needs stability. We need stability. You can do this for us and keep the family together." There it was, the truth peeking through. It was never about housing. It was about protecting my brother's image. My parents had thrown their future at him, and now they needed me to be the cushion that softened the landing. My chest ached, but my voice stayed calm. "Beckett has the money. He can pay for an apartment for you." My mother hissed, like I had slapped her. "You want your brother to waste money on rent." I leaned forward slightly, just enough to show I was not afraid. "You mean the money you gave him instead of keeping a roof over your own heads?" My father's face darkened. "You have changed." "Yes," I said. "I finally learned." I picked up my phone and dialed the non-emergency line without breaking eye contact. My hands did not shake this time. My mother's expression snapped from tears to fury in a second. "You would call the police on your own parents." I did not answer her. I just spoke into the phone, calm and clear, asking for an officer to remove 2 people who had been told to leave my workplace. They walked out before the officer arrived, but not before my father leaned in close enough that I could smell his aftershave. "You are going to regret this," he murmured. "People will hear what kind of daughter you are." I watched them go, and I realized something that made my stomach drop even further. They had not come for reconciliation. They had come to see if I would still fold in public. That night, Sterling and I sat at the kitchen table again, not talking about paint colors anymore. He slid his laptop toward me. "I ran a quick search of my name and my business," he said. My breath caught. On the screen was a social media page I had never seen before. My business name, my logo, photos of my work, photos of my properties, captions talking about investment opportunities and partnerships. My skin went numb. Sterling's voice stayed calm, but I heard the steel underneath. "Someone is using your identity." And in the contact information, in the little bio line, I saw a name that made my blood turn to ice. Beckett. For a full minute, I could not speak. I just stared at the screen, at the fake page pretending to be my life. Photos of tables I had built, pictures of houses I had saved for, captions promising investors quick returns and exciting opportunities. My name attached to lies I had never told. Sterling sat beside me, steady as always, but I could feel the tension in the room growing thicker. "He is not just being reckless," he said quietly. "He is committing fraud." The word felt heavy, official, dangerous. I thought back to every time my parents had called Beckett misunderstood instead of irresponsible, brave instead of careless. I wondered how long he had been borrowing my hard work to decorate his own fantasies. The next morning, I called a lawyer, not the gentle family kind, the sharp kind who speaks in precise sentences and does not care about feelings. After I explained everything, she was silent for a long moment. "You need to file a police report immediately," she said. "And you need to lock down your identity, bank alerts, business filings, everything." I spent the day doing exactly that. Passwords changed, accounts secured, notices sent to platforms to remove the fake page. I gathered proof like a squirrel storing food for winter, careful, methodical, unemotional. 2 days later, a stranger called my workshop asking about a real estate deal my company was supposedly offering. That was the moment it stopped being family drama and became something colder. The man on the phone sounded confused. He said Beckett had shown him documents with my logo and promised partnership shares in upcoming property projects. He had already handed over $5,000 as a good faith deposit. My stomach dropped so fast I had to sit down. I asked him to email me everything Beckett had sent. When the messages arrived, I felt a strange calm settle over me. This was not an argument anymore. It was evidence. Sterling and I went to the police together. I laid everything out on the table. The detective listened without interrupting, flipping through pages, nodding slowly. "Your brother is using your identity to solicit money," he said finally. "That is a crime." Part of me still hoped Beckett would wake up and stop before it got worse. But hope had not protected me once so far, and I was done betting on it. The detective suggested a plan. Let Beckett think the deal was still moving forward. Arrange a meeting. Get him on record. So I called the man he had scammed and explained everything. He was furious, but he agreed to help. We set the meeting at a small coffee shop downtown. Neutral ground, busy enough to feel safe. I arrived early and sat at a corner table with the detective and the investor a few tables away, pretending to work. When Beckett walked in, he looked confident. Too confident. Expensive jacket, shiny shoes, the kind of smile people wear when they think they are clever. He did not see me at first. He sat with the investor and opened a folder full of fake contracts. I listened as he described our imaginary partnership, using my name like a key to unlock trust. That was when I stood up and walked over. "Hey, partner," I said. His face drained of color so fast it almost made me feel sorry for him. Almost. "Mildred," he stammered, "I can explain." I did not yell. I did not make a scene. I just spoke clearly so the recorder on the table could capture every word. "You do not own my business," I said. "You do not own my properties. You do not have permission to use my name." The detective approached, badge in hand. Beckett tried to laugh it off at first, then tried to leave, then finally went quiet when he realized there was no door left to run through. They arrested him right there. Driving home afterward, I felt empty instead of triumphant. Justice is quieter than people imagine. It does not feel like fireworks. It feels like paperwork and long sighs and the slow rebuilding of order. My parents called me that night, dozens of times. I did not answer. Later, I heard through a cousin that Beckett had pleaded guilty. Probation, restitution, 6 other victims besides the first man, people he had convinced because they trusted my name. My mother sent me a long message saying I had destroyed my brother's future. That family does not involve the law, that I had humiliated them. I read it once and deleted it. A month later, I filed for a restraining order. The judge granted it easily after hearing what had happened to my tenants and my business. 200 yards away from my home, my workshop, my rental. The day the order was served, I felt lighter than I had in years. Life settled into a new rhythm after that. Thayer and his wife renewed their lease. I closed on another small property, slowly, carefully, without drama. Sterling and I painted our living room a soft green and argued happily about couch fabric. Beckett and his fiancée separated not long after the wedding that had started all of this. Without my parents' money propping them up, their shiny plans folded like cheap cardboard. My parents moved into a modest apartment paid for by the little savings they had left. I heard they tell people it was their choice, a downsizing adventure. I let them have the story. It was not my job to correct every lie anymore. For a long time, I wondered if I should feel guilty, if I had been too harsh, if a softer version of me would have handled it differently. Then one quiet afternoon, I sat in my workshop sanding a new table, sunlight drifting through the windows, and I realized something simple. Boundaries are not punishment, they are protection. Family does not get a special pass to harm you. Love does not mean surrender. A few weeks ago, an envelope arrived with no return address. I almost threw it away without opening it. Old habits die slowly. Inside was a short letter from my mother. No accusations this time. Just a few stiff sentences saying she hoped I was well and that she missed me. No demands, no manipulation, just words. I folded it carefully and placed it in a drawer. Not as an invitation, but as a reminder of how far I had come. That evening, Sterling and I sat on our porch eating takeout, listening to the quiet street, where no one pounded on doors anymore. He squeezed my hand and smiled. "You built all of this," he said. I looked at the houses, the business, the life that was finally peaceful again, and for the first time in years, I believed him. Sometimes choosing yourself is not betrayal. Sometimes it is the bravest kind of love.